Hi everyone, it's Helen here. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today we are continuing with another episode of making our large disc bound album. I'll pop part 1 down below where we made the album cover, the binding and the pages, and we're going to be working on this front page today. So what are we going to be making? The reverse waterfall. So I have one of my samples here, and the waterfall is actually at the back, so let's just flick straight to the back here. Here we go, here it is. That just goes up like that. You push that there and then you can pull that down, and there's room there for 5 photographs. Let's have a look at that from the side because it's actually quite fun. I love that. I love how that looks. I could do that all day. So let's have a quick look at the die set and then we will go on to the construction. Right, so I've stored everything here that I'm going to be using for this collection on my little plate rack. Let's move that back there. Right, so here is the large reverse waterfall die set. I love this. There we go. This is what it looks like as it comes. So we have this large piece here. You need to die cut one of these. You need to die cut 5 of these, and this one here is your photo mat. So if you have some larger photos, you can use this directly with your photograph and cut out wherever you want, because I know photographs can be a little bit off center sometimes if you didn't do things straight. So this also has a stitched detail on there, so 5 of those. Just start off with this one first. This one can be done for when you're decorating, and this is a mat, so one of those. Use the pattern paper. This is a belly band, so one of those, one of these, and then basically anything with a stitched mat is for decoration. Okay, so I've done a bit of prep already. I've got my long piece here. This will take a large format machine because it's quite long. If you have just a standard big shot and the extended plate, that would fit on there. Right, so let's pop everything out that I've already cut. I'm going to be using these white pieces of paper here that I've trimmed out using the stitched die. These are going to be my photographs, and we're going to be using a little bit later on the place photo here. So a little sneak peek of that. That stamp set is back in stock, and I've got my photo mats here. I've got my paper mats there. I'm going to go for the mustard, belly band, the slider thingy bobby, and I think I don't need this one. We'll just throw that to the side. That I got carried away with die cutting there. Right, so we have here a small arrow. It's really hard to see. If you want to go over it with a black pen like I did on the sample, you can do. So we have these score lines here. So the first one we fold down. So we keep this tab here at the top. And fold that. So that is our first fold. That is what it's going to look like once we pop this onto our page, or you can make this into a card. And then we have all of these other score lines, so fold those over, but do make sure that it's lined up left and right before you go in and give it the proper final fold with the bone folder. I do that on all the remaining, and then put it back into the first position. Right, so it should now be folded in half like our first position. So we've got all of these little folds here, and this opens up like so. So open that up and move over to the belly band. So fold those over and again crease those down. And then we're going to take our glue. I'll do a quick dry run now. This lives just here, and it goes up to the first score line. So you need to be able to fold this down over. So let's get that glued down. So I've made this all out of the same colour cardstock, but if you want to make yours slightly different or eclectic, then go ahead and use different colours for this. So I'm going to add this before I'm going to add my paper mats. So that goes right in the centre and right up to that score line. I'm just going to double check that I can fold that down, and then I'll give that a proper little press. Right, so now we can add our paper mat. So another dry run, that slides under there. Now I'm adding it in this order because adding the paper will cover the tabs that we've just popped under there. It's not a biggie, it really isn't, but it's the kind of order that I like to do things in. It's a good habit to get into when you have other elements that are very similar to this, where they would be visible, like when you're adding belly bands to your main pages. It's just a really nice finishing touch. Right, so slide that under. There we go. And now we can play with our little slider. So this does have 2 score lines, so fold those over and line everything up again, and then you can just get in with your bow folder again and fold those down. Right, so this slides under, so we have the open side at the front like this, and then that just gets folded over like that. So add a bit of glue and pop that over, and then hold that down, and then you've got to make sure that you don't actually glue this to the actual belly band, because this is what is going to slide up and down. So give that a chance to dry. Don't get carried away like I just did. Give that a really good chance to dry. Right, whilst that is drying, let's play with our photo mats. So if you're actually just making this before you put the photos in, or you're giving it away as a gift and you want to use just the photo mats and a direction of where to put the photos, because if you are giving this away as a gift, it's really good to kind of direct where the photos actually go. So we have here, this is sort of a back in stock, sort of a new product. So last year, or was it the year before? Is it the Scandi Dreams? I can't remember now, but we had the Place Photo Here stamp set, and it came with some dies with some photo mats in them. We've separated that completely, so we just have this stamp set here, and this will basically instruct the sizes and place photos here, and we've got this beautiful camera here, and we also have some lovely sayings and titles and things like that. So it's really good for letting people know. So I'm going to grab myself an acrylic block. I think I'll just go for another one here, because I've got to get it right, the size right. So I think 3x4 will fit here. I'm using the new acrylic blocks. It's the first time I've used this one, I think. I will link these down below as well. I'll try and remember to link as much as I can. And this just helps to support stamping on, and you get a really good impression that way. Right, so these mats that I'm using here are basically my photos, and it's this die here with the stitch detail. It's really handy if you have the photographs, just to take your die to them and just cut them out. So this is a 3x4 size, so we'll just pop that there. If you want to pop this up a little bit higher and add a little camera there, or just use one of these little sentiments here as well. It's not a sentiment, sorry, instruction. Place photo here, you can do. I'm just going to stick with the 3x4 for all of these. Let's get these glued onto here. Okay, so all of these are on there, and I forgot to say I just use thin paper for this, like copier weight paper, because you will be putting photographs on top of this. Right, so this should have dried now, and this slides up and down. So let's add our next mats here. So we have this section here that goes on to here. Pop that on. Again, this would look great if you use contrasting pattern paper as well, but I'm just going for the whole complete look here with the same paper. Right, now you need to slide this all the way down to the bottom and add your glue. And then fold that down and then press that closed. Right, so whilst that dries, we're going to add our photo mats here. We have here one last mat that we can pop just here. Now it's easier to get this mat down first before we start adding our photo mats. Let's get that down, and then we'll start with the bottom one. We'll pop that one first. It goes on this area here up to this second score line. So add your glue in the whole area in this first segment at the bottom. Now add this on. It should line up left and right. So you want to be able to see the scoreline again. If you can see the scoreline, it means it's going to be able to move. So just a quick test here. This should have dried more or less. So there is our first one. Right, so carry on adding these up, doing it one segment at a time and remembering what I said about the score lines. Okay, I've just put the last one on now. Make sure it's straight. Oh, that just went wonky there because I used the wet glue. So there is a bit of wiggle room for it to wiggle out of place. So keep that in the right place there, and give that a little bit of time, maybe a minute or two, just to dry fully. Okay, so that's had a bit of time to dry, so let's give this a little test. Just push that up just like so, and down again. I'm just holding the back section just here whilst we do that. So this back section here is what is going to be glued onto your card front if you're making a card, or onto your scrapbook album page. So let's get this in. Right, so this one is going to go here, right in the center. So the first page you're going to see is going to be interactive and fun. So I'm just going to add my glue all the way around here. And then pop that on. Now if you want to add any ephemera to this, I would only add it to here, just on the corner, because really you don't want it to kind of get in the way of this moving up and down. And also I want to do an arrow here. There is an arrow on there, but it's pretty hard to see because it's just embossed on there. So I am going to grab a black pen, and it's quite important that people know that this goes up instead of down. So I'm just going to follow the outline here of this arrow and then colour that in. Okay, and there we have our reverse waterfall. Reverse because it goes up instead of down. Right, so I'm going to be continuing decorating this album through the rest of the videos that will be coming up, and I'll also be leaving a few pages clear as well, because I will be going live throughout the launch of this, and I want some pages here that I can just quickly dash to and decorate through the live demos. Right, so if you're not subscribed, you can subscribe down below or by clicking the icon there in the corner. If you like this one, give me a thumbs up. Everything that I've used today, and including the brand new collection, is linked down below. Right, so I'm going to move on now to filming the next one in this series, so I will see you again in the next video. Bye for now.